Making my way through the hood, sipping this yak. I got the Mac. Plack-cat-cat-cat-cat. Plack-cat-cat-cat-cat. Riding around the block, see this Glock. Your butt is gonna get it. Pew 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 pew. That's a silencer. Boo 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 boo. That's a grenade launcher. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Yeah, let's just get straight into the story time. This is the story time of how I lasted less than a week in McDonald's. I did about less than 5 shifts. It was at 3 or 4. So yeah, let's get into the tea. When I was going to uni in the Midlands, I no longer go to uni in the Midlands. I go to uni in London. So what happened was, it was getting towards the end of first year for me. I wanted to go on holiday because I hadn't been on holiday in about 10 years or so. So I was like, yeah, I want to go on holiday, right? And you know when you go on holiday, everyone wants a little bit of coin, because that sweetens up the deal. It makes the holiday nicer. You want to spend, you want to be comfortable. So I was like, I need a job. So I was like, okay, let me just get a job. Basically, McDonald's was one of the places that responded to me. So I was like, why not? McDonald's, easy money. So I went for it. Call me George the Dragon Slayer. Ooh, because I slayed it, right? In my mind anyway, I slayed it. And they called me back later on to do like a sort of a second step, which was like with other people, so like a group thing. And this is sort of where it started to go wrong. I should have started to realize, the signs are showing that this job is not on your side. I got to the group thing. They got to a stage where they asked us, oh, what size clothes do you wear? And they wanted us to write it down. So when I was writing down my thing, I was thinking, okay, let me put down, I put down 14L. So I said, let me put down 14L because the girl's a little bit thick on the bottom here. So I put down 14L because in my mind, letters next to the number to me was size, not length. So when the woman had seen mine, she was like, 14L? You're not 14L. And I was like, well, thank you. Like, your girl's been getting a little bit skinty. So I thought, okay, she's trying to be like, okay, I see you. You've lost a bit of weight. Obviously, she didn't know me, but I just thought, okay. So we had gotten the clothes back at a later date. I took them back to my dorm room and I had tried them on. Guys, if you need a self-esteem check, try on some McDonald's clothing because it was tight top. Like, you know what, it wasn't tight, it was tight top. Like, I thought to myself, rah, like this isn't normal, because I was wearing jeans that were also a size 14, and you know obviously some places do different sizes. No stretch, no give, tight, as in tight top. Like, I was thinking, McDonald's, you gotta give me a little bit of spandex, you know, a little bit of lycra, give me something to work with here, because you're expecting me to stand on my feet for X amount of hours and me can't even fit into the clothes. Cool. So to give you guys a little bit more understanding of how tight these clothes were, in order to get to the staff room, there were steps, as in not steps, there were steps. I could have walked up a mountain easier if I had the correct trousers. So anyway, that was like the first strike. Then the next strike was when they asked me in the interview, when are you not available? I said, well, I have some exams, right? So those times around those times I'm not gonna be available. But as soon as that's over and done with, I'm all yours, baby. I'm all yours, right? And then also I was like, I don't really want to work the night shifts because of where I lived. I needed to get on a bus that went to the place that I lived, and it was about 30 minutes plus, around 30 minutes away. You know, and that bus stopped running after a certain amount of time. So let's say it stopped running at like 11:40 and my shift finishes at 1 something. How am I meant to get home? It's not everyday Uber, like you haven't even paid me yet and I'm already like, you know, paying for an Uber to get to and from this job. I had so yeah, the second strike was when they kept putting me on these late shifts. And I had spoken to some woman on the late shift. She was like, oh, I've never seen you before. And I was like, yeah, I just started recently. I was like, oh, I've never seen you either. She's like, oh, I'm usually on the night shift. So I'm like, cool. So I was like, no, how long have you been like working here? And she said, I've been working here for about maybe 3 or 4 months now. And I was like, oh, so you picked to do, like, when they asked you what schedule you wanted, you picked late nights. And then she was like, no, and that's never what I wanted. You know, she was like, I was kind of thrown into it. She was like, I wanted the day shifts because it doesn't really coincide with her day, and etc, etc, etc. She was like, but I haven't been able to get any day shifts. They keep putting me on the night shifts. So I was kind of like, and in my mind that was screaming, get out sis, or speak up now, because if not you're gonna end up like this woman, and I'm not trying to keep on paying for Uber to get to and from my place in the dark night, right, with nobody else. Like, who knows, somebody could just drag me up out the cab into some bushes or into the woods. Like, not on it, I'm not on it. So I was just thinking, it's either time to speak up or get out, because this woman is looking like, I haven't seen my kids in years, I don't even know what my husband looks like. I'm not trying to be like her. So that was the second red flag, basically. The third red flag was one of the managers. One of the managers, he was so rude to me, like he didn't like me, and I have no idea. Bear in mind, guys, I basically didn't say anything because nobody was really including me or being nice like that, if you know what I mean. Like, they were all too busy doing inside jokes. So this guy, right, he was just, you know, being so nice to all the other people, and not gonna lie, I call shade. Honestly, I call shade, because he was always asking me to do things, and that sounds like, this is your job, why are you upset that he's asking me to do things? No, it's like he kept being like, do this, do that, do this, do that. Are you forgetting that I'm new? Are you gonna show me or what? You know, and then he'd be like, and then I'd be standing around there because I've done everything he's asked me to do. Like, the rush period has died down, and then he's like, I thought I asked you to do this, and I'll be like, okay, but I did it. So, you know, as in, what have I done to offend you? What have I actually done to offend you that you're trying to come at me like this? So yeah, he's just all been like, so he was always getting on to me, and you know what, I had enough, like, because imagine one guy keeps on getting on to you, you know, keeps on being shady, rude, not including you, like, and also, not to mention, he got onto me about my shoes. Nobody else said anything about my shoes, so I went and bought new shoes as well. So I'm paying for cab, I bought new shoes, like, money is just coming out of my account, and you haven't even put anything in yet. So yeah, and guys, not to mention that they were giving me some ridiculous shifts. Like, I could have sworn to you some of these shifts were like 10 hours long. I was just thinking to myself, is this even legal? As in, this is not even the shifts that I signed up for. Like, the length, is this legal? And you would have, like, the breaks would be so short, guys, so short. I'm not even joking. Like, your legs would, I would be finished. My feet hurt, my knees, my shins, like. Anyway, so let's fast forward a couple days, guys. Also, I forgot to mention that my first shift was on my birthday. On my birthday. Imagine working in a new place on your birthday. Nobody even knows you, you know, you can't even say happy birthday, you don't feel welcome. It was, ugh. Anyway, so let's fast forward a few days, right? And as I told you, it was like around exam time. So I had exams, and these people brought out the rota on the day of my exams. So I'm just thinking, not on the day of my exams, on the day they expected me to work. So I'm just here thinking, what are you actually playing at? Like, who does this? You should bring it out the day before so that people know if they're meant to come in or not. Here you are giving me the rota on the day that you want me to work, and you expect me to get on, throw on all my clothes and just jump out and speed out. Nah, it don't work like that, especially when you're doing it so close within the time that my shift starts. So, what? Who won it? Who won it? Like, come on. Basically, so I looked at the rota. They wanted me to work that day, but the shift went over into the next day. So I would have gotten back home late, and I had an exam that same day, you know. So it just wouldn't have worked, basically, you know. So I would have had to go into the shift. I would have stood on my foot for X amount of hours, and then I would have had to get back home, gotten minimal sleep, had to wake up, go straight to this exam. It just wasn't plausible. So I called McDonald's, and then guess who picks up? Cruella de Vil, Cruella the manager, right? The manager that doesn't like me. So I pick up, I'm like, hello, it's Hillbilly from da-da-da-da-da, and then they're like, cool. So then the guy's like, yeah, okay, what's up? So I'm telling him that, can I not come into this shift because I have an exam tomorrow and the way it's set up, it's just not plausible for me to come in. And then he was like, well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but no, you still have to come in. I'm like, what? And he was like, it was put down on the rota, you didn't see it on the rota. I'm like, well, first of all, I only received this rota not too long ago, so don't even come at me sideways like that, because I have exams. These are uni exams. Like, and what had been getting on my nerves was the fact that they had given some kid like the entire day off or the entire week off to go and take his exams, and he was in like he was doing like GCSEs or something like that, and they were all like, yeah, how's it going, like bigging him up, dude, you give him a week, and me who's asking for a day when I'm not even taking into consideration my circumstances, now you want to be treating me like I'm taking liberties. And he's like, well, didn't you mention that you had exams in your interview? And I'm like, yes, I did mention it. You didn't conduct my interview, and I did mention it. So please calm down, because you're getting a little bit loud. Yeah? You're getting a little bit reckless right now. So I'm going to need you to calm down and take it down a few notches, because he was doing the most. So he was like, well, sorry, unfortunately, I don't care, etc., etc., something along those lines. He was like, you have to come in. Hung up. So I was like, cool. Sat there for a few minutes, and then I was just like, I started to cry, mate. I called my mum, and I was telling my mum, I was like, Mommy! Hey, listen, yeah. I was like, Mommy! And I told her everything that happened, and then she was like, why are you crying? I was like, excuse me? She's like, why are you crying? She was just like, just quit. And I was like, quit? That's an option? Like, guys, I was literally, all I wanted to do was grind up until I had to go on holiday and get as much money as I could, and then I would have quit, deuces out, and that would have been it. She was like, just quit. So I was like, you're right. I was like, I'm gonna quit. So I hung up, and then I went and I called my friends, and I went over to their room, right? So I told them what happened, and they was just like, I started to cry again. Ooh, did you hear that? I started to cry again, and then they were just like, you know what? Yeah, we can see that you're clearly not happy, and you work late, and you stand up for long hours. How long the shift is, it's not worth it. So if you're not feeling happy, just quit. Especially because your exams are more important, so quit. So I was like, you know what? You're right. So I dialed up, doop, 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 doop. Hello, and then the same manager answered again. And I was like, yeah, this is hillbilly. And I was like, I quit. And then this guy was like, he was trying to be, you know when somebody's sort of caught off guard? And then he was like, yeah, he was like, well, you have to return the uniform. And I'm like, of course. Obviously I didn't say this thing. But in my mind, I was thinking, of course I'm going to return your damn uniform. Like, what am I going to do with these tight up clothes? Like, what am I actually going to do? Become a scarecrow? Because I can't move in them, so you can have them back. Because I also asked these people countless times, can I have a bigger uniform? Because I don't know what sizings you guys have modeled this on. So yeah, he's like, yeah. I was like, all right, bye. So hung up. I went and gave him my resignation, gave back in the clothes that they were served. As I was leaving, my friends went with me because I don't want to go by myself, obviously, right? One manager there that was nice to me from day one. Like, he helped me with some of the work that we had to do before, like actually working in Mcdonald'S and everything like that. He was like literally one of the few people that was actually like really nice to me. So he was there, he was the manager, and he was like, yeah, I heard about what happened. He's like, come tell me what happened. So I told him, and he was like, yeah, that guy. And I'm like, my G, you know. Anyway, he was like, I'm so sorry, it's a shame, this, that. And I had to speak to the woman who hired me as well, and I told her, she was like, yeah, we're going to speak to him about it, and this, that, and the third. And I was like, yeah, you speak to him about it, and patting him up, you know, because he's doing too much, right? This is McDonald's. Anyway, guys, yeah, so I just want to apologise for the fan, because it's always going, and yeah, you can really hear it. I hope it's not too distracting, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed filming it, and yeah, can I please get a subscribe? Please subscribe, a thumbs up for my dancing and my voiceover and the story time. Yeah, please leave me a nice comment. I feel like I just came with this with energy. I came at this with energy, and I have no idea why. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.